I don't know how many millions interview I gave in my life, but for me it's the same level to give an interview to an independent website than to Folha de Sao Paulo or Carta Capital or whatever, you know. For me, myself, it's more interesting to give an interview to an independent website than to give it to TV Globo.
Of course.
For example.
Why do you think that?
Well, but I think that the people who are now reading it in independent websites are more interested, you know.
Yeah.
TV Globo, they hear it or not, you know, it's going over the head a lot of time. It's normal. It's normal. Such movement are movement who expressed a feeling of a part of society against the situation. And it's not true that a movement is born because we have the right demand. We have a lot of right demands and no movement.
Yeah.
You know, it was the same with the debate you could have, which you take about 68, you know. You had leftist group to say, we want, you have to have the concrete demand. This will structure. No, a part of us, we say we want everything. Well, it's you know, it's a movement is a feeling. And then how it continues politically, this is another problem. But first when it emerged, you know, it emerged, sometimes you don't know why. In 68, you had in Paris, Le Monde is one of the well-known, had an article in end of February or beginning of March 68, and it was the title France is bored. Everything happened all around in Germany, in the States, in France nothing. And they make a long explanation why in France nothing can happen. And a month later or 2 months later we had the biggest general strike, you know. So it shows you, you know, that there is a society, there is a daily situation, and then underneath there are things who are going on, and sometimes they go out, and sometimes, and then the problem is how to make it sustainable. This is another story. It's a complicated mystery. It's a complicated mystery.
Do you still have patience to talk about May 68?
No, well, it's you know, I tell it in the that for me it's over, you know. It's I was in a certain form a leader that a person who were able to articulate things that the people felt. So when they hear me talking, they say, that's it. I didn't invent a lot. I had some, but my behavior, the way I say things, this was important to, and I was recognized and one who with a new form, a new language in politics and things like this. You have charismatic people,
of course,
who are the expression of something. You can say Lula is one. Yeah, whatever you say against him or what, he is a charismatic person who in a certain time, you know, coming from the left trade union, he could express something, and it was in the way he is, you know, make him a leader, you know. The movement always say we don't want leader. It's true and it's not true, you know. They don't want the movement leaders in the form of leadership to impose something, but the movement and people in the movement like person who express things because it makes them good feeling, and it's a complicated resolution. I was the the leader of an anti-authoritarian movement against leader. I was the leader against the leader, you know. So it's what I say. It's a mystery. Well, we were at the beginning. The official that a part of them told us vandals, and yes. But then the other part of society recognized us as something else. You know, we had imagination. We were funny. The problem of the activists here is that it's not that they are violence. I said it. It's being compared to the situation of violence in Brazil. You know, it's ridiculous. Even the violence that groups makes, but this type of violence, being in black, being within, makes you not very sympathetic.
Yeah.
You know, it's an army against an army, and it doesn't give you the feeling you want another life. And it's why I think that the official and the press can hit them and isolate them. I'm the symbol of the sun of '68. All the good things, you know, is my love, you know, and this picture, the picture has made me.
Yeah.
You know, the difference. If you take a picture of an activist, you know, when you see nothing, and you take a picture of someone who is
it
laughing.
Looks like
Of course, this laugh was the expression that we want fun. We have political ideas. I don't want to reduce it, but
it was a serious issue. But
it
you guys
was a serious issue, but it's a serious issue going through. We want another life, but we want we had a positive feeling towards life.
Yeah.
It's difficult because in the '60s we had hope, even with wrong ideology. We had hope. We had faith that we can make things better. Now the youth, seeing the situation of crisis, of ecological danger, of they don't have so much hope.
Yeah.
It's a revolt because they want hope, but and this make a negative image. Sometimes you have violence because police hit and then there is a response. But I think that one theory, for example, the theory that you need violence to beaten the state. You don't beat the state by violence. In democracy, the non-violent action forms are more efficient because you take the society is seeing you with sympathy, and if you want to win, you have to win the sympathy of the majority. But you have situation on the other side. I'm not a pacifist. No, I'm not a pacifist. I say, but this is different. You know, I say there are situations where to liberate a country, or even what was in the '80s a military dictatorship in Brazil, you could argue differently, but not in a democracy. You are here in Brazil, you live in a democracy. You have your website, you come here, you know, you can make an interview, you write it, you know. You have different intensity of democracy, and you can say a lot of things has to be better, could be better, and should be better in Brazil. But I was in Poland in '79. You know, you couldn't sit in a table and talk about politics. You know, so we must agree. You know, that the Brazil of '83 and the Brazil of today. Circus was right, you know, is better. It doesn't mean it's good.
Or it's good enough, but it's better.
Good or good enough, but it's better, you know. For me, the definition of democracy is on the political level is a society where the freedom of speech, the freedom of organization, the freedom of expression, you know, is the base, is reality. Then you can, you know, you could say whatever you want against the United States during the Vietnam War.
Yeah.
But the movement against the Vietnam War could develop, did develop. There was media, even the capitalist media, who showed the reality of what happened in Vietnam, and let's make the movement. So this is for me the definition of democracy. You can say, but the relation to the media is not equal. It's true. So it shows you the way that things have to go, but it's the democracy. You have a family violence, you have drugs violence. So the violence of the society is all. Because you have everywhere violence, a political movement should try, I don't have the answer, to try to find a way, you know, to contest all the violence. I saw the picture of the 300 people who tried to demonstrate in Sao Paulo. The police there were 5,000 policemen and 300 people. So you would say it's ridiculous, yes. But the picture of them, how they act, you know, was not that the people said the police is wrong. The people say they were wrong. So in doing politics, you have to be intelligent.
Yeah.
You have to be better than the other, and not as stupid as the other. You know?
And they are better than us in violence. Actually.
And they are better in violence. You know.
It's very difficult to fight an army with the same weapons.
Yes, it's wrong. It's not only different; it's wrong.
Yeah.
Because then you became mentally like them. If you are a revolutionary, if you want to change society, one of the main problem and tasks, don't be like the people that you are fighting.
But during the events of '68, you guys used violence as a...
Yes, but the image was my laugh against the policemen.
Yeah.
I'm more or less radical reformist, ecological reformist. This is my, if you want in 4 words, what I am, you know.
But you think the ecology is the main question?
Well, ecology question the traditional left and right ideology. The ecology is for me the base of a new thinking for this century. But it's a long, also there you have it's a long job.
To be patient.
Ecologists of today have the most radical critique on the idea of this society, what happened in society, because they start with the relation with the human being and the nature, and the relation between the human being inside a social economic system. Ecologic model is a model how to regulate
capitalism.
I would say market economy.
Yeah.
And of course, then if you regulate ecologically market economy, then the capitalism is completely different than the capitalism of today.
Yeah.
You will call it ecological market economy. Say it like this. The only thing why I say capitalism or what is it? It would be market. It should be market economy. I'm against state-oriented economy. Brazil could be the country where a new idea of development, a new idea of growth could be developed. You have in 2/3 of Brazil, or 3/4, you have the sun all the year.
Yeah.
You could imagine that Brazil would be a symbol of a very effective country with renewable energy. This is a pity that the left government, that came with, say, Lula, became a traditional view of growth, traditional view of expansion, In this period, yes, you had a collective imagination, that artistic behavior, was integrated or in the expression of the movement. And the traditional, this is also one of the problem of the militants that you have here. They are very well. I was at university and heard when they prepared, they wanted demonstration against the World Cup. I found the discourse very traditional. I think art and irony is something very effective in a martial, military expressing state. So don't answer them like they are. Answer them with irony, with artistic contest, and then you change the mood. You are perceived by the people completely different. In a process of changing the society, art, literature, music. In the 60s in the States, one of the base of the revolta was music.
Yeah.
So are playing a big role. Are playing a big role. Who should regulate the press? Who should do it?
I don't know, maybe some maybe some movement of civil society.
No, I don't believe in God. It's what I say. I'm absolutely, totally atheist. It's right to contest some press and manipulation by some of the press, but you could imagine in a democracy that a board where you can plead or you can accuse the press. But I'm for the freedom of the press. You can have some rules, but then it could be a justice to judge against racism, against anti-Semitism, but the freedom of the press must be as total as possible. Because 68 is the myth, and that a movement can have a hope and change society. It is the myth, and effectively we lost politically, because you can say de Gaulle wins the election, but we have won socially, because it was the beginning of the big change of society. It was after 68 the big movement, feminist movement, homosexual movement, ecological movement. All this was not, thought in 68, but the change of society, that we want our way of life. We want it for us. It is no state, no religion to say how we should live. And this became a little bit reality, this type of freedom, after the 60s. You can't today imagine how the society in France was in the 60s, or in Germany, or in the States. We have a completely different society. So forget 68, man. Forget to go back to 68 to try to find the way of fighting the society of today. This you can't, because it's another world. You know, you said you weren't born, but you can imagine, you know, how authoritarian, how whatever, you know, was the society in the 60s. It's why I say forget it here. Forget it and try to find your way of fighting today. The necessary and the possible today is completely different than the necessary and possible in the 60s. And so the extension, you know, of the possibility is, for example, all the ecological problem, climate change we didn't know in the 60s. Nobody talked about it. One of the major problem of democracy today, and this is really the extension of the possible, is this. How to take a society, to take responsibility for in 30 years. I'm hoping that one country who get the World Cup or the Olympic Games refuse the rules of Olympic Committee and the FIFA. This is a thing, you know, we have to fight for. We have to fight, you know, in the contract between Brazil and FIFA, but the country, host country, whatever, and the FIFA, first sentence is, the president of the FIFA has to be recognized as the head of state.
Yeah.
He's not the head of state. Fuck off. He's nothing. I think there's something in Brazilian society it's completely childish. Childish, you know, and juvenile. And this song, because the World Cup will be in Brazil, we will win. This will be, we will finish with the drama of 1950. And then it's called 7-1. You know, 7-1. No, okay.
We will forget 1950. With this 7-1.
You know, the psychology of Brazil and the psychology of these players were that they got mad. You know, they have to win. And at the moment when you have to win, you lose.
Start to lose.
Yeah, and they thought it was God's will, actually.
And well, this is also, it's always praying, you know. And then you take someone like David Luiz. It's crazy. It's crazy. Now, I saw an article, you know, where he's campaigning for no sex before you're married. I mean, it's mad. It's madness.
But that's the evangelist.
Yes, but psychologically you can't win.
I remember.
And you know, and it's Romario was right. He said, I had sex always before the game, and I'm world champion. But he should have, and then it would be better.
I prefer to have sex than to win
the World Cup, of course.
It's not your problem because you won't play in the Brazilian team.
Another dream that doesn't come true.